Hey guys, I really just wanted to do a brief video trying to get back into the theme of actually lifting weights and setting up routines. And how do you go in the gym and lift weights? I know I've spent countless hours trying to demonstrate and explain what I've been doing. So to that end, what I will say is this: if you're watching this video and what your ultimate goal is to look like this or better, then I'm just the things that I describe, the routines that I describe, and the way that I go about doing these routines is the way that I've been doing it for decades. It evolved from my teenage days of actually lifting plastic concrete Sears weights in the basement. Well, not actually in the basement, in the converted garage where I had a little fitness area. So I had a bench, one of those Sears benches that with 110 pounds. And at some point I actually bought, because the biggest disc that set came with was a 10. So I bought some 25-pound concrete discs, which were enormous, and like nearly bent the bar in half. But anyway, so I had, even in the beginning, an idea of what it was. To some extent, I was doing. I don't know, but like I said, what it evolved into is this. And so I'm just going to describe. And what you have to understand is that I've been lifting for easily 40 years, more than that, but 40 years, and competitively for 25. My routines have, in terms of volume and weight and stuff, diminished because of age. There's just no way to get around, no way. And if you're nowhere near 60, which is where I'm at, then you will discover what it's like, especially if you lift your way into your 60s. So weight and volume have come down significantly because I can only do what I can do, and what I can do these days isn't really, in my opinion, a fraction of what I was capable of doing 20 years ago. So I did a back routine, and I've always said back routines your back has 3 levels to it, for lack of a better way of describing it. So your traps and your rhomboids, your rear delts, in my opinion, all part of your back. Your spinal erectors, your lats. So your entire back structure is involved in any routine that you would set up to do back work, lifting. Okay, so another point to just make is that this is, obviously resistance training and progressively heavier resistance training. So anyway, I taking 3 levels into consideration with your back. So what that just means is that I did a movement that was really a medial movement. It was just straight row, seated row with a cable machine, because I'm limited to what I have access to and in Planet Fitness, so I'm just getting what I get. So seated cable row. So what I did was I started fairly light. I did as many as I can till I couldn't do any more, and took a break, took a drink, and then got back on it, put more weight on another plate, and I did that until I could only get about 8. Really doing it the way I think it should be done. And so by that I mean, this is just another element to the entire thing, is that the movement, even on a cable machine, there is a way to do that movement correctly to get maximum benefit, and it involves utilizing your back muscles from your spine out to pull, you're pulling with your back, not so much with your biceps, just pulling with your arms. You're pulling with your shoulders and your back and trying to, in essence, bring your shoulder blades together, when you're doing a seated row. So you're sitting there, you're upright, you're not, going back and forth like this. You're stable, maybe back a little bit. You're not vertical. You got to be back a little bit because you're going to have some weight on there. You can't have a center of gravity that's straight up. It's just not going to work. So at least not with heavy weight. So anyway, full contraction. And that's every rep, every set until you get sloppy. And when you get sloppy, that's really your last set. Okay, when you're really struggling and you can't really maintain your form, then so you're at your last set. So do that set, drop weight, do a set, drop weight, do a set, all to failure. You're not going to get very many, but drop set 3 times or 4 times on your last set. Okay, that's it for the seated row. And I know that's a lot. Now take all of that information, okay, and go over to the lat pull down and wide grip, close underhand grip. There's a couple different ways you can go about it. Sort of a low row, with the lat pull high bar, pulling down a high bar, but underhanded and leaning back, or overhanded wide, preferably. And also angled back slightly. You got to lean back slightly. You don't pull the weight behind your head. You pull it down to the top of your chest. So you're leaning back, and you're same thing. You're pulling with your upper back muscles mostly, and contracting and pulling that thing down to your chest and back again. Same principle for the whole thing, in terms of adding weight, going up, doing the drop set, doing it until you can only get 8, okay, and then on to I went to a plate-loaded leveraged machine that did a low row. So you reached down and sat in this thing, and it was a low row up into your pelvic region, and you could get a pretty good contraction out of it because the bars and the handles would come, would miss your legs. So it was pretty good. So anyway, same exact principle on that as well. And that was my routine, in and out. It probably took 40 minutes, maybe, because I kind of slowed down as I got into the second movement and the third movement. But you do that like I just described it, and if you're not sore 2 days later, then you didn't do something. You didn't do it right. You didn't because done correctly, that stresses muscles. The whole point of lean muscle growth is time under tension and progressive resistance and specific adapt to imposed demands. If you increase weight correctly, with good form, and do that consistently, it's not about where you inevitably get in terms of weight, because you're getting so much out of what you're doing that the actual weight is not as important as you would think. Now you can always do sloppy cheat sets or cheat sets or whatever with really heavy weight if you want to, just once in a while. Just to test yourself, I guess, if that's necessary. But it's just for your ego, and it's not really, it serves a purpose once in a great while, maybe like once a month, to go fairly heavy, but not in the 2-rep range or the 3-rep range. That's not what I'm talking about. Heavy lifting has its place, but it's infrequently, at best, if you want longevity. So anyway, that's the lesson for the day. I'm going to try and put together some more stuff and hopefully shoot from the gym and actually demonstrate on a machine. That would be nice. I don't really have anything here, so anyway, I hope to see everybody soon, and you guys keep lifting. Talk to you later.